Hi, I'm not crazy.
She's totally crazy.
But that's all right, because we're faking sanity.
Yeah.
Except
Sometimes better than others.
We don't fake it very well.
Sometimes we do. Some people think I'm boring and normal.
Yeah, because they thought you were me.
Well,
yeah. We're faking sanity. We're a knitting and other stuff podcast.
Mostly knitting, a little bit of spinning,
and
lots of rambling at the end.
Got a little bit of dyeing, and then culture.
Yeah.
As in books and movies. As in low culture. We're all about the low culture.
I'm Lou.
I'm Cindy. Or Sid. Whatever you want to call me.
Hey You works pretty well.
Yeah.
We have a shop in Dawson Creek, BC called Faking Sanity, and that's where you can find us on Etsy as well, and on Ravelry.
Yeah, and the card at the front said all the places we are,
yeah.
except we have to change
And I was
name.
going to say, I don't usually mention it, but we post show notes for all the episodes, both in our Ravelry group and in the show notes below the video on YouTube. So if ever you're looking for anything we talked about, it's all itemized, because I like lists.
Not in the order that we talked about it, but in types. So if you're looking for a yarn,
within the order we talked about it, or within each section, it's in the order we talked about it. So within the yarns, it's in the order we talked about it. Within the patterns, it's in the order. I am.
Yeah.
I do the show notes.
I do sometimes.
You have. Yeah.
I have.
You have.
Okay, let's get on with stuff.
Hello. Welcome back if you're been here.
If you've been here before.
If you're a return viewer, and if you're new.
Yeah, this is
welcome.
what it's always like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of a schmoz. Okay. Whips.
Yeah.
Whips.
You first.
I start. It's boring knitting, but I feel accomplished because I finished a sock. I finished one of my dad's socks.
It looks really long. That's awesome.
Yeah, I made it a lot longer, and I added some increases at the top to give it just a little bit looser, because it's right where his calf gets
You should have put it on a sock blocker, but
I
looks
didn't
pretty
think
good.
of it, but
looks awesome.
Yeah. And he was, I think he'll be excited because he was saying his socks are a little short usually. So, yeah. And it fits me over my sock, so it should be a perfect fit for him. Yeah. And I did.
And it's a whip because
it's just a 3x1 rib sock. You've seen it before with the sweet tomato heel, which is nice and smooth. And I love it.
Cat Bordhi.
And it's by Cat Bordhi.
Just the heel.
And the rest is just me winging it. It's a boring knit, but it's done. And I've started the second one, so I don't get bored and leave it to the last minute.
I won't let her stop. She was like, I just want to put it down, and it was some of the new yarn. I'm like, just get it done, and you'll feel so accomplished.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see.
It'll be nice, and it'll be nice to have it done and not stress about it.
Yes, because normally she's like, I have to send this to my family. Yeah. Because she has to mail it across Canada, which luckily doesn't take as long as it used to.
No, it's much better than it used to.
But she's always like, I have to finish it before I send it. And yeah, that's my fast knitting.
Yeah.
She doesn't knit very fast.
It doesn't look like that when I do it.
It's like...
I've been knitting for the same amount of time as her, and I'm super slow.
Yeah.
I push each individual stitch off. I don't...
That's okay. You're deliberate.
I am very deliberate in everything I do.
I had a dream last night. You don't want to know, but I had this dream where her and our main staff member like made a decision without me, and
Which
then I
would
was
never
like a
happen.
major decision for the store that like changed what we were doing for the store. And I woke up just like pissed off at them because they had made this decision and made my life harder, and I was telling her about that. And she's like, well, I wouldn't do that because I can't make a decision without your input anyway. I'm like, okay, good point.
I don't. It's our business. We make the decisions together.
Yeah.
Not either of us on our own. So anyway.
But I have a whip too.
It's a pretty
It
whip.
was gonna be an FO, but I just didn't
fell
quite
asleep at 7 o'clock last night. She was gonna bind off it.
Oh, I was just exhausted. But look, it's the Carradal.
Yeah.
Carradal by Lucy Hague.
Love it. Rebecca's gonna love
the yarn
it too.
is lovely, lovely yarn dyed by her. Compulsion.
Yes.
Compulsion. It's an MCN in this gorgeous blue color. And
She wanted a blue to match
Yeah, it's for my friend.
Something on
It's our
her
friend, Rebecca.
wedding dress.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it
this
had to
is
be a specific color.
It's her wedding shawl, and yeah, I finished the gorgeous cable.
That's a beautiful
Man,
border.
I love these shawls. I want to knit them all.
There are
Now,
a couple of hers I want
so
to.
the edging is supposed to be a picot edge, and Rebecca really didn't want anything that could catch because she's a bit of a klutz. So I'm doing.
And she lives on a
She's
farm.
a farmer.
Like
She's like, I want to like be able to. Well, she wants to be able to wear it on her honeymoon to Portugal.
Yeah.
And then be able to just kind of wear it around the farm and not get it caught on everything. So I'm gonna do an I-cord.
it's gonna look fabulous.
Edging, which will be great. But yeah, and hopefully next podcast I should be able to show you the final thing all blocked and everything, and then give it to her.
Yeah.
So it's so pretty. Look at that cable. I want to knit everything in the book,
Yeah.
which is I don't have that written down. Celtic Cable Shawls by
Yeah. And you
Lucy
can buy
Hague.
the patterns individually on Ravelry as
Yeah,
well,
or the
the
ebook.
ebook.
And I bought the ebook, but yeah, it's awesome.
gorgeous.
Okay, it's great, and I'm almost done it. I just have to sit down and do the cast off.
That's really cool. It's gorgeous.
I've been working on it for a long time, and that's mainly what I worked on the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have to get this done. Her wedding is coming up.
Well, and you don't want her to be stressing about whether you'll finish it.
Yeah,
You want to get
exactly.
it done earlier, so it's not a stress point
She
for her.
doesn't need more stress about her wedding.
Yeah. I have. Well,
You have.
I
a
guess
whip.
I sort of have another whip.
You have a whip. It's totally whip.
I started swatching this morning for some color work. So it's just 1 by 1 offset in the red and the white. But it does bring us into a stash acquisition of mine and a weird method of swatching.
Oh,
It's okay.
sorry.
So one of the things I wanted to do was swatch in the round, but I wanted to have something other than my dad's sock to show this morning, and I had 10 minutes. And I thought if I cast on big enough for a mitten or a sock, I'm not going to get more than a row done.
Just cast on this much.
So my gauge changes quite drastically when I'm knitting on something that small.
Okay.
But anyway, so I've seen a lot of people who do color work or wanting to swatch in the round just carry the yarn across the back. So I knit a row and slid the fabric to the other end of the needle, and then instead of purling back, I just slid it and started knitting again and carried the yarn across the back. So you are getting the same gauge as you would knitting in the round because you're not purling, but you don't have to cast on as many stitches to check it out.
If that doesn't make sense, a lot of times people get very different gauges when they're knitting flat than when they're knitting in the round.
Yeah.
Because their purl is very different than their knit.
Yeah, mostly the purl. And I know for me that's a huge deal. Knitting in the round, I knit way tighter than knitting flat.
Really? So your purl is really
purl's
loose.
really loose.
My purl's quite tight.
Yeah, my purl is quite a bit looser. But this is a new yarn I got.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about wanting to do a colorwork cal. So we're going to do a colorwork class here.
Yeah, some of
because
the
a few of the
ladies-
people that are local want to do the cal, but
I always say the ladies.
well,
But right now it is.
the people interested in this cal at least are ladies. But yeah, so I'm going to, I think, do just a phone cozy or something as a project for the class.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Something small, or maybe like a baby hat. And then
A baby's hat is actually bigger than you think.
yes, but smaller than an
Babies have
adult
huge
hat.
heads. Why would you want to have kids? Sorry. I'm not a kid person.
She's
And the thought of a grapefruit size. Anyway.
Yep.
Hi!
You're weird.
I'm weird. Well,
Anyway, so this is Holst Supersoft, and I don't know if you can see, but so I'm knitting this on 3.25 needles, and even with that big of a needle, it is a super, super fine, lightweight yarn. It's like light fingering,
as you're knitting it. Yeah.
but it really could be even thinner than that. It's like 307 yards per 50 grams, so 614 yards for 100 grams. But it's,
So that's lace weight, really.
well, no, lace is usually about 8.
Yeah, not
So
always.
very light fingering.
Not getting close. Really.
But you can see like the fabric is still, like, despite my uneven tension for swatching this way right at the beginning, The fabric is still really cohesive. Like there's not holes, you can't see through it, and it's a really loose gauge. For color work, normally I wouldn't consider that, and I haven't washed this or blocked this, and I've heard people say that have used it that you can expect to bloom hugely once you wash it because it's got a lot of spinning oil on it.
That's cool.
So I think it'll be a really nice, dense gauge.
I can't wait to see.
Once it's washed. So I'm excited. And then my two colors are Venetian and just the natural, does it have a name?
Bleached white?
It's called the bleached white, but they have one that's whiter than this. So it's kind of a natural color white. It's just mildly bleached. And I'm thinking of a couple of patterns for me for this. And I'm gonna pause here and insert some pictures.
Back.
And we're back. So you have just seen, hopefully, a picture of Songbird Mittens by Erica Heusser, which is one of the ones I'm thinking of doing for the Cal. Gray-Eyed by Rebecca Tsai, and those are both mittens, or Call Them Cherry Blossoms by Tiina Kuhn. And those are socks, but I'm thinking I would turn it into a mitten.
Oh, cool.
Because it's a really cool pattern, and I think it would look really cool with the red and white.
Those are good colors.
So that's my acquisition and my whip, but that acquisition came with another.
She's been shopping.
I was shopping. Okay, so this yarn is super economical. It's
pretty.
It's beautiful. It comes in so many colors.
Okay, fine. I won't hold one.
I'm gonna weave with these, and this is the Holst Scarn Coast yarn, which is 55% lamb's wool and 45% cotton, and it's got a lot of spinning oil on it still, but it feels super soft already, so it's going to be even more amazing once it's washed.
I can't wait to see it woven.
I think I'm going to make these two. I'm going to do the warp. I'm going to do one of these two with a bit of black framing it, and then I'm going to use the black mostly with the other one as the weft. And I've got a couple of designs in mind. I'm gonna play around and see which one I like best, but I really love this. And so these were with the exchange.
Yeah, they come from Denmark.
They come from Denmark, from Hella Holst, and these were like $3.79 a ball.
Yeah, Canadian.
We're
in Canada.
And our dollar isn't super strong right now, so $3.79 Canadian was awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, and the shipping was reasonable, and so I got a bunch and tried them out, and I really love this. Like this is.
I can't wait to see that.
And it'll be easy to warp onto the loom because it's already caked. Like a cone it'd be nicer, but at least it's not a hang. Like it's not a skein. One step removed. So anyway, I love it. And I can't wait to use it. This is going to be woven, and I'm excited.
It's either going to be woven on my loom or hers if she ever gets it waxed and put together.
I finished the pieces I have out.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
It'll get done on my loom. Okay, so FOs.
Yeah, you have some FOs.
Yeah.
They're cute.
I worked mainly on the shawl this week, but then that knit night I wanted something different. So I made a mini mitten.
It's adorable.
This is in the Christmas in July colorway on Compulsion, Faking Sanity Compulsion, dyed by her. I made two of them. One of them I haven't woven in ends yet.
But it's not an FO. It's what you told me.
But this one is.
I see.
So, and what I'm going to do is do a little I-cord between them and then have them as ornaments. Yeah, they're so cute. Okay, so I used a pattern for this. It's called Mini Mittens by Keya Kuhn. Keya and then Kuhn. So I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but Keya Kuhn is how I'm saying.
Awesome.
And they're so cute.
They don't match.
I know, that's fine.
They're the opposite. One ends in green and one ends in red.
I'm gonna do a bunch, so yeah, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do with the Christmas in July yarn because I've also already done some mini socks with it.
The socks were adorable.
Yes, and I was gonna do like a hat or socks or something for me, and then all of a sudden I was like, I just want to make lots of little mini things with it.
Yeah. So, are you gonna do like a garland of these attached with I-cord or sets of two?
I think I'm gonna do sets of two.
that'll be cute.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be cute either way, but...
Yeah. So I'll put some on our garland that we're going to have at the store, and probably some for sale at Christmas. See if people are interested, but they're just so fun to make. They're so quick.
Yeah.
But those tiny little thumbs are kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It's like 2 rows, so that's fine. But
you can handle the amount of time you have to do on it.
Exactly.
Okay, quit it.
He's applauding me. Okay. They're waving. Okay.
Crazy.
But those
are
are my. So yeah, I did them because we're still doing the Christmas in July, Cal, even though we're not in July anymore.
We had extended it originally. We said a little bit, and
yeah, the last time we talked about it, we extended it to August 15th, so that's this week. So Wednesday. Yeah, but we're not very good at like closing posts, so if you maybe sneak it in on Thursday.
Depending on your time zone, you might get it in.
Yeah, we're like the last time zone alive.
No.
Yeah. Hawaii? Okay, Hawaii maybe is... I was thinking Hawaii was on the other side of the...
I'll be closing it either on the 15th at midnight, our time, which is Pacific time.
Well, technically...
We are currently on Pacific time.
We are on Mountain Standard Time, which means we did not change for Daylight Savings Time. So we are at the same time as Pacific Daylight Time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dawson Creek doesn't change times.
And everyone around us does.
Yeah. Anyway.
They're so cute.
Because you really needed to know that.
They're so cute.
It looks like you're telling a baby hands up.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a draw. So we're gonna do the draw this week, but we'll announce it on the next podcast because that's more fun. Anyway.
Yeah. And we have an awesome prize donated by Liz. We have her Christmas bag for that one. Yeah. But we do have another.
No, we're talking about that later. That's later. She makes me write this. How we're gonna write it? Yeah, 6 after spinning. She makes us.
Oh, but you talked about the Christmas cowl, which was together.
We had already said that I was going to talk about it when I talked about the mini mitts.
Our lists differ. This
and
is
I asked her if it was exactly the same as my list, and she said, "Yeah."
The list is wrong.
We'll talk about the other cowl later.
Okay.
Right now, we are on your shawl. See? She makes me write this order that we're going to talk in, and then she doesn't follow it. Even her own number.
Yeah, it's because we're on 4, and it's scrawled in because we added it afterwards. So I remembered I was wearing it to hand it. I am wearing, so this shawl doesn't have a name, but I had talked about one of my favorite books being the Knit and Lace Triangles. And this is knit from that. So it is knit out of Fleece Artist Double Sea. And it's just a combination of 4 of the lace charts in that book, and it's by Ann Budd. So it's got some medallion lace, ripple lace, medallion lace, and then leaf lace at the bottom. And it was, I think, the first really luxury yarn I bought. We went to a Fibre Fest in Chilliwack a few years ago before I ever started spinning. And we went to all the yarn shops in the area, and they had this skein, and it was like $5 for a ball of yarn was expensive for me. And I had gotten to the point of nice yarn was the $10 to $20 yarn, and this was, I think it was $35 or $40.
It was $40 because I got some too.
But I just loved the color. It was like,
now we're like
molten copper. Like, it's beautiful. Yeah. And the silk and the drape in it is just amazing. So I love it. But then I realized one skein of DK weight silk that I didn't want to waste and wanted to show off was not a lot of yardage.
Yeah,
and I
but
didn't
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it looks really nice on you.
I didn't have anything else that would go with it that would drape the same. So I took that Lace Triangles book by Ann Budd and kind of figured out 4 lace charts that would go together and used up all but I think 5 grams of it. So, and I love it. It's pretty. I don't wear it very often.
Well, but it's not like you have an opportunity to wear shawls.
When we were serving lunches, it's not like I wore shawls that could fall in somebody's plate. So,
and now it's just too hot in the store.
Yeah, but it'll be better. This winter I plan on wearing a lot of my shawls at work. So, yeah.
And if not, we'll just display them at the store. So I have one other FO. It's not much of an FO. It is a swatch. So we got a new yarn at the store, and it is a DK single, and it's 100% merino, and it's lovely. It's so funny because we got the yarn because someone dyes it for us, and Mineville Wool Project. It's not like it's a secret or anything.
Yeah.
And we got it, and we were like, oh, okay.
So we had ordered.
It's all right.
Yeah, we had ordered what they were supposed to be is gray with other colors, so that they were kind of muted, but the way they came, they just didn't
so they came. They weren't
look.
even like they come kind of in big bundles, like
just tied together.
and we pulled it out of the box and we're like, oh, it's all right. And then we
Skein
twisted
them
it.
up.
I'm not gonna try to skein them right now. We skeined them and we're like, oh, actually, no, that looks really nice.
Yeah.
And then I wound it
one
into
up.
a ball and I was like, oh,
There's so
okay.
many, like, there's,
Yeah.
this one is yellows and peaches and bits of
This one's-
pinks
and greens.
purples and a
It's
little
this
bit of
one.
green. And it's the same one that's balled here.
yeah.
So you can see a bit more of the interplay of the colors
And
there.
just like every step, we were like, oh, okay, I like it better.
Yeah.
I like it better. Yeah, and then I knit it, and I was like,
and hold it up
I
close.
love
So
it.
you can see there's a lot more color in there. It's super subtle, but there's a
really
lot
subtle
more color.
colors. And I'm not usually I don't usually like knitting singles.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was great to knit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like every step we took with it, I was more like, oh, okay, I like this more. I like this more. And now I'm like, oh, I love it. And now
Yeah. After
she's
she
taking
did
the
this
rest. Yeah.
swatch, I claimed the rest of the ball.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a cal with it, I think.
Yeah, but it was just so funny because we were all like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
And then each step was like, oh no, I like it a little better now. Oh, I really like it like that.
Like,
so
wouldn't that be an awesome, like if you knit it at a looser gauge, wouldn't that be an awesome shawl or
Yeah.
cowl? Like, it's so subtle, but it's beautiful. And you
and
could
really
pull out,
soft
like,
and-
you could pull out the purples or the greens or the yellows or the
Yeah.
peaches. Like,
yeah, and it was just so strange how like when it was like open and it looked kind of wiry and stuff.
yeah. And it's nice.
And
Like, it's,
it just like every touch
It's
it
soft.
softens up and
yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
some of the colors are less subtle, but there's
Yes.
still that mix with the gray as the main color.
Yeah, so we were really impressed by the time we got to the end of it. But yeah. Now we love them. And so they are a Faking Sanity line. They're called Whimsy DK. And so that means we got to name them all after books. So we've got the Silver Star and the Bookseller, which
This one is the bookseller.
yeah. We have one called Phantom of the Opera, which makes me sing every time.
I told her
So
she couldn't show that one because it makes her sing every time. And then they
I
all
won't
have
sing. I have a terrible.
they all have a quote from the book at the same time. I love this one. My nighttime forays tend toward the fantastical, toward dreams that place one outside of conventional time and space. This, I have concluded, is because I read so much.
Yes.
And I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're very happy with our new yarn. Well, one of our new yarns. We got another one too.
Yes.
We're really happy with the others. So pull it out
Yes.
and talk about it.
So I talked about dyeing a while ago for my friend Annie's shop in Calgary, and we got in her yarn, and it's amazing. So MAC, which is Marilyn, Annie, and Karina, and the Loopies, run the Loop in Kensington in Calgary. And this is her house yarn. It's her MCN, and she sent us 6 colorways.
Yeah, we've got 4 here.
And I've just got a few to show kind of variation, but she named a bunch of them, like they're exclusive colorways just for us, and she named a bunch of them related to our shop. Like there's a coffee house, because we had coffee house like open mics once a month. I love this one. It's just beautiful. There's so many colors in there. And then this one I took home, Blue Smiley, because I was just feeling the gray with a bit of speckles. And
oh, and you were talking about the names.
yeah, but this one is called Crab Melt. And it makes me smile and it makes me laugh because when we first opened, we ran a restaurant here as well. and we'd post on Facebook what our daily special was. And one day we posted a crab melt was our special, and a friend in Calgary, Alana, and her daughter, who I won't embarrass by naming her, was much younger at the time and asked, how hot does an oven have to be to like melt a crab? And so it became this inside joke that we loved, and she drew a crab for us, and it was featured on our album on Facebook and stuff. But so she named a colorway called Crab Melt.
It's
so
fabulous.
I love it. And this base is amazing. But look at those colors. Like, look how rich. I can't do a nice brown. Like, I can do... No, that's not true. I can do a nice brown, but I can't do a nice warm brown.
Yeah, not that color brown.
Like, I just love that. And it's a little bit speckled. And then there's, like, blues ranging from super dark to... And, oh, I just love it. I just love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That one's almost gone.
Yeah, this is the last skein of this one.
Yes. And then my favorite name, Pants on Fire.
I love that one. I didn't.
I love this color too.
I didn't bring. There was one called Queen Anne soup.
Yes.
Which I thought was fun. We had a soup called Queen Anne, and my friend Annie, just always loved that one from the beginning.
Because she's Queen Anne.
We
would wear tiaras together.
Yes, she is a fan of the tiaras. So yeah, I have a skein of Queen Anne at home too. So, and it's this beautiful semi-solid pinky
bright
red,
pink,
and it's beautiful, like deep pink, not like like a magenta.
She's such a good dyer.
She is. I've loved her dyeing like since I met her.
Since she started, basically. Yeah.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's Annie's yarn. We have a little bit left. There are a couple of colors that only have one skein, but we're super excited to have it in, and it was such a fun treat. It felt like Annie came to visit the store.
Yeah, we miss them. They were
miss Annie.
Yeah, Annie and Karina and Marilyn and
everybody.
Heather and Lisa. Everybody that we used to hang out with at Make One in Calgary.
Yeah.
And then follow to the knitting room. Yeah. We have never seen their yarn store.
Yeah.
Maybe next summer we'll make it down to Calgary.
I'm hoping so.
That'd be fun.
We usually close for 1 week a year. It's when we do renos, if we have renos and stuff like that. But
this year is when we made a yarn store.
So we're thinking maybe next year we can skip renos and take a quick whirlwind tour.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll see. But in the meantime, we get Annie's yarn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
So,
and it's squishy. And I like squishy. I know you know this, but I like squishy.
Okay, now you're spinning and dyeing. I don't have much to say today. I didn't do a whole lot this week. Well,
You were just exclusive in what you did.
Yeah,
this week.
and just slept a lot.
Yeah. It's been super smoky again this week, so it kind of drains your energy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, where is burning? I mean, okay, everywhere is burning.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So last night I had another little panic attack when I realized there are so many fires near Prince George.
Oh.
And the air quality there is going to be crap. And we're going there next month.
We'll bring the air purifier.
To do Fibre Fest. And we're bringing a whole bunch of our yarn and accessories and needles and some of my hand dyed. And I just realized I might not be able to breathe. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
We'll bring the air purifier.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It'll take the space of it. You can't vacuum seal the... Well, you can, but it won't
We'll take a little less yarn and put in the air purifier so she can breathe. Yeah. I think it's a decent trade-off.
I think it's a decent trade-off, too. I have been spinning, though, in my closed-up, stale-aired, completely sealed-up apartment. And this is Malabrigo Nube in the Candombe colorway. And we went to McDonald's before, can you tell? I love their colors. Like, they're so rich and deep. Like, there's so many variations in every single braid. And I don't enjoy spinning it unsteamed, but if you steam it, it's fabulous and super easy to draft. One of the only things I don't like about it is pretty compacted, and I don't know if that's in the dyeing or in the shipping or in the storage once it gets here.
No, it comes compacted.
Yeah, I mean, like, not at here, but when it gets to Canada here. But it is amazing yarn in the end. And I found that if I steamed it just over the spout of my tea kettle, which isn't safe and I don't recommend. But if you have questions on how to do it, I can send you a private message.
You could steam it with the steam wand.
What steam wand?
On the espresso machine.
I don't want Fibre near our espresso machine. I don't want somebody to get a latte with Fibre in it.
No, not while we're open or anything. But
She's
point
weird.
it out this direction and then just hold your Fibre. Okay.
She's weird.
I think the steam wand would work great.
Anyway, I didn't steam it because my tea kettle broke and I bought a new one, but it has a safety shut off, so I can't leave it on once it's boiling, so no steam. But I split it in a couple of thinner strips and then spun it, and it was okay. It wasn't as easy to spin as when it's steamed, so I will buy another kettle, but I'm loving the color shifts. And this is going to be a 2-ply DK weight yarn. I'm hoping to have a fair bit of hand spun when we go down to Prince George. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some spinning in my future this week, I think.
Cool.
And then I did some dyeing too. The first one's just a new colorway I'm playing with. Oh wow, does that ever blow out?
Yeah.
Okay, so back here
No, even there.
is a little too blown out, but it is kind of a bright chartreusey acid green. Can I get it any? Okay, right here it looks about accurate, and I really like this part. So I dyed part of it dry so that it just gets kind of a veil of the outer color, and I love the effect. I wish you could see it. It's just not cooperating.
Yeah, hard to take a picture of.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one to put online. No, it just looks flat. I can't show it to you.
Don't put it
Take
online.
my word for it. I like it. And
It's pretty.
and it's super soft and squishy.
Yeah.
So that'll be a new colorway. But I had talked last week or last podcast about cranking sock blanks. And I got one done and I dyed my first sock blank. And I just went with something simple with stencils, so it's just sea life. But I'm really pleased with it. And it's double-stranded, so it'll be 2 identical socks. And it's done, so I knit this not like a traditional sock blank, I knit it as a tube. So there's, and it's dyed on both sides with a slightly paler version on the back. So there's...
Not much paler.
Yeah, no, I intentionally didn't dye it quite as dark. See? It's a little bit lighter. So when you're knitting the purple sections, like when you get a little bit of purple, you'll get a little bit darker and then a little bit lighter on the next strip, next round. So anyway, I'm thrilled
cool.
with it.
Are you going to pull this out and knit it just to see how it goes, or are you going to sell this one?
No, I won't sell it. It's the first one. I
cool.
want to see how I did and make sure I did well with getting the inside strands, because I was dyeing through 4 layers.
Yeah.
But I really like it.
Looks great inside.
Yeah. And I left a little bit of white around the shapes.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see that. On some of them, I mixed the colors a little bit, but I tried to leave a little tiny bit of white just around the purple. So the very first stitch should stand out more because it's not a blue mixed with purple. It's a little bit of white next to it. Or at least a lighter blue, so you can see a little bit there on the edges. So, and I don't know if that effect will be effective or just kind of muddy it. So I want to try
really
knitting it
interesting
first.
to see.
Yeah.
I want to see if one sock is lighter than the other or what.
Yeah. Like if I got through.
It looks pretty good, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm thrilled. I'm gonna try it again.
And then we discovered we could use the sock machine
to knit tube scarves.
To do tube scarves and stuff. So I might do some
Yes.
Harry Potter scarves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This one's not long enough for a scarf.
Not the sock machine. The knitting machine.
The knitting machine. I called a sock machine.
Yeah. It makes sock blanks. It would not.
It would
make
not
a
make
sock.
socks. These would be very giant socks.
Yes, they would not be a good sock at all. Cindy of the Sea.
Hey, makes a pretty cool hat.
Yeah.
It looks
Crazy
like one of
woman.
those old like sleep caps.
Yeah. A stocking cap.
Yeah. I like it.
That's it for me for spinning and dyeing.
Oh, okay. So I was supposed to talk about the cowl. See, this is where. Okay.
I agree.
Our other knit along is the Knit to Alaska. or Alaska Highway Knit Along, or whatever we
Along.
call it, Make Along. We have many names for it, but it's been going like gangbusters. I don't know if that's I mean, I know it's a saying. Where does that come from? But so
I don't know.
we hit somewhere. We hit our milestone.
Prophet River.
Prophet River. I was like, Pink Mountain. No, that was the previous one. We hit Prophet River. So woohoo! And then we have like flown past Prophet River. We were gonna hit Fort Nelson so fast.
Yeah.
But so we did a draw of all the people who have put in stuff in the knit along since the last
draw.
And that's 38 people plus us, so 40 people.
Yeah.
That's
well,
awesome.
We don't count.
I know we don't count. We don't count for prizes, but we count for mileage.
Oh,
So
that's
40 people active? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm trying to untangle my yarn. I'm not paying attention to you.
She's
I just
not
want to
paying
knit
attention to
on
me.
the podcast because
paying
it's a
attention.
normal thing. I'm paying attention.
Oh, thanks. I'll stop wearing the sock blank around my neck. So yeah, we did a draw of all the people who have been active, and drum roll. Oh, that makes the whole camera shake.
Oh wait, that's even more effective.
The winner is Kathleen188. Woo! So if you're watching, I'm assuming your name is Kathleen. No, actually it is. I did look. It's a small prize this time, but we took a look at what you like to knit and stuff, and so we have some minis and some other fun stuff to send to you. So if you want to send us your address,
You can contact us on Ravelry is probably the easiest. Either mine.
hers or the store's. No, yours.
Mine is the easiest.
Yeah.
Montréalaise, MTLAISE. Or
'Cause
you can.
I'm really bad. I'm really sorry if you've sent me a message. I suck.
You can contact us other ways.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to point out, contacting us, like
On
if you're
Instagram.
commenting on Instagram, we see
see it.
those instantly.
But messages
But
for
the
some reason?
messages
Yeah.
on Instagram are really problematic, and I don't know if it's just the way they react with my phone's OS or something, but they're really hard to see, and sometimes it can be days before I see because
notice that there is
the
one.
notification, like there's a little red dot when there's a new message, except when it shows up is sometimes days after the message.
Yeah.
Like I got another one yesterday and I was like, this was 5 days ago, and yesterday
Yeah.
was the first time it notified me that there was a message.
So
So
email's always
if
good.
you want a response, email or call
or her on Ravelry.
message me on Ravelry, or just comment on any of our posts on
That's true.
Instagram.
Yeah, we see
if
the
you're on
comments.
Instagram, or comment on the podcast here on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh
Any
yeah,
of
we
those
definitely see
things.
those.
Like we see
just terrible.
comments on any platform. We get
Yeah.
emails on any platform.
Messages. Sometimes our Facebook messages we don't see either.
Well,
It's-
those are a little better. Like at
It's
least,
getting better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They've updated and fixed some of the issues.
Anyway.
But yeah,
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
strange.
contacting us, anything but direct message on Instagram is the
Yeah.
best way to get a fast response.
yeah. Or contacting me on Ravelry because I never get on Ravelry because
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, send
And
us your address.
Yeah. Send us your
But
address.
anything other than Instagram message, and we will get out a prize to you.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be a smaller prize than some, but still, it's a prize. Yay!
Yeah, and then our next
fun
draw when we hit Fort Nelson will be a big one.
Yeah.
And
We don't know
that'll
what it's gonna be yet.
I have an
We
idea
have
I
some
want to
ideas.
talk to you
Yeah.
about. I think it'll be a really good one. So
And
yeah.
then at Fort Nelson, we'll see if you guys are still interested in doing this.
Well, I think
I mean,
maybe we'll
40
stop.
people active is pretty.
It
yeah,
is.
That's pretty good.
We could stop and do something else, though.
We could-
But if people are still interested in this one, tell us what you like. You know what? Actually, tell me 2 things. Tell us whether you'd like to continue with the podcast.
no, with the
With
cow.
with the cow.
I mean, if you don't want to continue with the podcast, we understand. Just shut us off.
yeah. Just say, wow, they're too crazy today, and leave. It's fine.
Wow.
But if
They
you
talk
want to
about
continue
the same
with
knitting every.
No, I had something new today.
I had something new.
But yeah, tell us if you want to continue with
fluff.
the Alaska Cow, or if you'd rather shut that down and start a new one. Let us know. We're open to ideas
give
and
us some
suggestions.
ideas.
But also, when we do a prize draw, do you like seeing what the
Yes.
prize is first, or do you like the surprise of it? We keep waffling on which
I know,
way is better.
because I keep going, I don't really want to show it, because I want it to be a surprise to the person who's
But
winning
then
it.
nobody else gets to see it
Yeah.
either. So we're like, eh.
So that's why we were like, this one, we're not going to show it. It'll be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
But the next one, you know, because
We showed
we've
the
shown
bag
it
already.
before. The
Yeah.
bag that was made for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
let us
don't
know what you think.
Yeah.
We're happy to
Tell us what to do.
We're happy to take ideas.
Tell us what to
we
do.
may or,
We
may,
may or may
not
not listen.
do what you like, because there will be, I'm sure, lots of opinions, and some will differ. But
People have opinions?
I'm sure.
People have differing opinions.
I'm sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. I think just the book review, right?
Yeah.
And then.
And then culture was
Okay, so this will
culture
be the
whatever.
last of the knitting content. We like to do a knitting book review every
Or
once
a
in a
knitting
while.
something review.
Or a knitting tool or something. This is New Pathways for Sock Knitting by Kat Bordhi. It's been out for a while. Cindy just ran away. I'm not sure why. She needs a Coke, of course. But I thought I would show this one if you haven't looked at them before. Kat Bordhi's thing is that you basically have your architecture of the sock is changed. So you can get socks that have, if you have a traditional heel flap, you kind of have your heel flap across the back here, and your increases are right here along a traditional gusset. But what hers are...
I'm not crazy. I am. But what hers are...
I'm flipping to the right page now.
Yeah.
So, but hers, I don't know if you can see without showing the pattern here, you can see the gussets on this one are kind of front and right. Some of them have gussets split over the top here, like bridging your foot. Some are on the underneath, like completely on the sole of your foot after the heel. So they're really neat constructions. And one of the things that's cool, her videos are all super clear. They're a little slow, but if you can do stuff without a video and you're fine with just watching or reading, even her instructions are super clear. Like she has instructions for 2 circs, she has instructions for DPNs, and they're all like really clearly labeled with, like when she's talking about which end of the circulars, she's pointing out A and B on both circs and DPN. So you really get a good idea of what she means, even without the video. And the nice thing is then she's got kind of master charts with all the numbers for how many stitches you're going to need for section A or section B or section C for any given shoe size or gauge. And there's lots of tips on how to make things tighter at the join of your needles, and there's like 6 different types of toes included.
It's all about customizing. We tend to be all about customizing.
Yeah. So
we're not good at following a pattern exactly.
I love a couple of the patterns in here, but mostly I use this as a reference for different types of
Heels, toes,
customizations.
yeah.
The increases she talks about here, it's a lifted increase, but using the stitch from the row below when you make the increase, rather than just lifting the bar. And it makes such a nice increase. It's the one I use almost all the time now.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that that are just really good references. So if you're looking for a good book, she's got several out now, but that first one has the most... If you're looking for ideas on how to customize your sock, it's the best one to go with. Excuse me while I deal with something.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no!
I'm putting the mitten to sleep.
No. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You took it.
I
She
did.
stole it. She stole my pen and the mitten. Okay.
she was attacking me with
so
a mitten.
that's-
You saw it. You can bear witness.
Where'd the mitten go?
It fell underneath
Oh, okay.
the chair.
Anyway, so that's the last of our, Oh, am I gonna do the babushka look? It's been really hot, so I've been wearing, like, a scarf, basically, over my head that's been wetted. And I've either been wearing it, like, pirate look. Okay, this does not look very piratey.
No,
but,
not in silk.
Or babushka.
You look like a
I
babushka.
do look like a babushka. And Dana was like, isn't a babushka one of those little Russian dolls? And I'm like, no,
Those
no,
are
no.
Matryoshka
no.
dolls.
Well, I mean, often they look like babushkas.
No.
But Oh, this is the perfect babushka shawl.
Very cute.
Okay. Now stop being a dork.
Now
okay.
stop being a dork.
So
well, I know you can't.
I can't stop being a dork.
She can't.
That's the end of the knitting.
Yeah.
Related content.
Yep.
We're going to talk about culture, which in our world is books and movies and TV and all that kind of stuff.
I have a food related culture.
You do?
I do.
What? Oh God. Oh, sorry.
Have you seen these?
Oh.
They're green tea KitKats.
Oh.
And they showed up at the dollar store in town. And I was like, I've got to try it. I think it's going to be disgusting, but I've got to try it just to see.
Oh, the color.
And you have to see the color.
Oh, it's just
because
nasty.
It looks kind of like a nice minty green on the label.
Oh.
But it's kind of baby poop.
I could not. Okay, if your baby's pooping that color, I think
actually this one's a little brighter than most, but it's kind of an olivey.
It's just
minty.
Thanks, I'm not gonna eat that.
Yeah, it's so good. If you like green tea ice cream, or if you like, if you've ever been to like a Japanese restaurant and had the green tea ice cream with red bean sauce, this is the green tea ice cream. Like exactly. It's fabulous.
I'm also not a fan of green tea, but
I love green tea.
Yeah, no, that just looks absolutely disgusting.
So yummy. You have to try
no
it.
chocolate?
Yes, the outside is all chocolate.
Oh, okay, so it's green tea chocolate.
Yes.
Ah.
It's green tea flavored chocolate. And it's amazing.
not
I won't eat the rest of it in front of you. But if you like green tea, you have to try it. And then I'm going to try and convince her to go check out we have a new Turkish restaurant in town.
Yes. Oh, you don't have to convince me.
So,
Didn't we talk about it in the last?
Nope.
No. Okay. Yes.
I love...
Well, it's a bakery with multicultural food.
She said
but
it's mostly...
She's Turkish and...
Mostly Greek and Turkish food.
Yeah. So they got Turkish baklava.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Loads of people know baklava. I always
Greek
found
version.
it too sweet, and like there's too much honey, and I'd only ever had it at Greek restaurants. And then we went to Taste of Calgary, which is a big food festival in Calgary, and tried this baklava from a Turkish restaurant. And it's got like more almond and pistachios and a little less honey, and it's just
it's so good. So yeah,
so good.
We'll be doing that sometime.
Yeah.
But let's talk about...
So that's my food culture for the week.
Okay. Let's talk about some books.
Okay,
Books first? Okay. The book I read, well, I read a few books, but the one I want to talk about is called, I have a print book. I'm like surrounded by them, but usually I read ebooks or audiobooks.
You've been doing audiobooks a lot.
I've been doing tons of audiobooks because I want to be able to knit.
Yeah.
But it's called Factfulness, I can't talk, by Hans Rosling and Ola Rosling and Anna Rosling Rundlund. You have to include them because it's definitely not just him, even though he tells really good stories. So this guy I had never heard of before until someone recommended a TED Talk to me, and it was all about, it's all about how the world isn't as bad as we think it is.
And how it's changing for the better.
Yes, it's constantly changing, and it's all about, he's all about looking at the data.
Yeah.
And all about how, people are getting out of extreme poverty. Like, we've halved the number of people in extreme poverty in the last
50 years.
Less than that, 20 years. Yeah. And it's really, he's this adorable, well, he was, unfortunately, he passed away while writing this book. But he was this adorable Swedish man in his 60s.
A really great speaker, too.
Really
his
great
TED Talks
speaker.
were amazing.
So anyway, the book is really, really good, but unfortunately, because after I watched the one TED Talk of him, I went and tried to find every talk he had ever done that was on the internet. I already knew all this stuff. So it was really good. I liked how it was laid out and stuff. But yeah, go watch his TED Talks. I'm gonna put some links in the
Show notes?
doobly-doo. Show notes. Yeah.
I was watching another podcast the other day, a knitting podcast.
Yeah, and they called it the doobly-doo.
And they said there were notes in the doobly-doo, and I was like,
Oh!
I know where you got that
Vlog
from.
Brothers fan. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. it's all about how to look at the news from an informed point of view, and about like why news is all about the, you know, the worst things that happen, because, you know,
it sells the news.
Yeah, because you can't really have news reports about, you know, the world got incrementally better this year.
Yeah.
So
the average education of women around the world went from grade 6 to grade 7. It doesn't make
that.
I know, but
yeah.
like that doesn't make a great storyline. It's why it doesn't make the news.
Yeah. So yeah, really good book, but I would probably recommend his talks over it, because he is such a just enthusiastic, interesting person to watch.
Yeah.
He has this great one about the magic washing machine.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I will put some links, but
I was just going to say, and if you like his TED Talks or do find the book and read it and like it, check out Bill and Melinda Gates
I was going
Foundation.
to say the quote, the quote on the back is by Melinda Gates.
They have a newsletter, and it's very much the same type of thing.
They did a lot of work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's about improving the lives of people around the world by not the huge things, but, you know, fixing the roads so that they can get to the hospital.
Yeah.
And things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And so this is his son and daughter-in-law, who they all created a company together called Gapminder, and it's all about data mining and that kind of stuff. But also, Anna does this really cool thing called, I've forgotten what it's called. I'm a terrible, terrible human being.
You are. What is it?
Anyway, Dollar Street. So there's kind of, they separate the world into 4 different levels of income. Okay. And she actually takes pictures of like, so people in all around the world that are on the same income level, because within a country you can have widely different income levels, but she takes pictures of like standard things, so like how people cook.
Okay.
And
to compare
to show that the people on like in extreme poverty cook the exact same way in Africa as in places in Asia, places in South America. Well, no, the lower 2 are basically Asia and Africa. But shows it through pictures. Yeah. And it's hard to explain, but Dollar Street. It's really cool for visual people. So it basically takes all the things they're talking about in this and makes it visual. Actually, a lot of it's all about visualization. It's hard to show. It's like charts and data.
Charts with data.
We're such nerds. But yeah, really good.
My first love.
Oh, I'm really
before I ever had a computer was a spreadsheet. Yeah. And I remember going away. My mom will laugh when she sees this. I had a lot of plants, and I had some that were exotic plants that needed special care. And I was going away for a summer, and I taped onto every plant pot instructions on how to water it and when, like every 3 days or every 5. And this one gets watered from the bottom tray, this one gets watered from the top, but you can't wet the leaves and that sort of thing. And then I drew out, because I didn't have quad paper. What's quadrille?
Graph paper.
Graph paper. I didn't have graph paper, and so I drew out a chart that was like Mondays water plants, 1, 3, 7, 10, 12, 15, and 19, and Tuesdays water those plus, 16 and 42, and
this is what I have to put up with.
I loved it
all the time.
I loved it. I'm sure my
She's
mom
like,
rolled her
the
eyes.
knives are pointing the wrong direction. Like, oh.
There were some pointing the blade this way and some pointing the blade this way in the same knife block. Who does that?
Obviously, our staff. And me.
They do it just to annoy me.
And she'll be like, there's no more whatever jam, and we're like, it's 2 inches over from where it's supposed to be. And she can't find it because it's not exactly.
It's not here, which is where it goes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And trying to get, all of our staff to do things exactly the same way so that she doesn't, like...
Lose it.
Lose it is impossible. Anyway, talk about one of your books.
Okay.
Or TV series or whatever.
Okay. Well, I'll do one without a visual first because I've been reading one on my phone, and my phone is there where you are. Not you stole my phone, but you know how it is. I've been reading Trans Like Me by C.N. Lester. And
oh, that's really, the one I found on the... I found it in the library
ebook collection. And it's written by a trans non-binary person from the UK. And just talking about, like, how laws have changed, how education is needed, how it's improved, how there are still issues, why some treatments that are still the norm in America or the UK or whatever, and have been disproven for years that don't work, but are still the norm because people are so reticent to talk about and change policies regarding treatment of trans people. Like, it's not considered a disease anymore. Thank goodness. So why aren't we changing our protocols? Yeah. And like, it's a really fascinating book.
It sounds it.
Yeah. Yeah. The text is a little dry. Like, the writing style isn't my favorite. Because it's more like a research paper writing style, like, yeah. But it's really fascinating. So
it doesn't have fun little, well, it has fun little anecdotes, but it's,
well, it has little anecdotes, not usually fun.
Oh,
like sad ones.
Sad anecdotes. Yeah. Well,
yeah. But it's a really good book, and so that's what I'm reading right now.
Yeah, it looked really interesting. That's why I told her. Yeah. I was just going through the books that are new on the library.
And I'm about halfway through that one, and then when I'm done that one, I'm going to jump into a paper reality book. This one came into the store and I didn't let anybody enter it because I was bringing it home. Brian Greene is my all-time favorite science writer, and this one is about parallel universes and the laws of the cosmos. But I thought...
Okay, so that's she just read one called Parallel Universes.
Michio Kaku,
yes,
Parallel Worlds.
Oh, Parallel Worlds, okay.
And it was about superstring theory and how you can't believe in it and not believe in multiple universes.
Okay.
Because it talks about, like, basically bubble universes getting created. This one I haven't read, but I love Brian Greene. And I've mentioned before that one of the things I love about him is how his writing style is, he explains things in everyday concepts. He explains the hard concepts in everyday situations that everybody's familiar with. And I thought I'd just read a sentence or two to show you what it's like.
Story time.
It is. He's talking about gravity and how Einstein's gravitational equations, which sounds like a heavy topic, but it's often said that Einstein blinked, that he went back to his notebooks and in desperation mangled the beautiful equations of general relativity to make them compatible with a universe that was not only uniform but also unchanging. This is only partly true. Einstein did indeed modify his equations so they would support his conviction of a static cosmos, but the change was minimal and thoroughly sensible. To get a feel for his mathematical move, think about filling out your tax forms. Interspersed among the lines on which you record numbers are others you leave blank. Mathematically, a blank line signifies the entry is 0, but psychologically it connotes more. It means you're ignoring the line because you've determined it's not relevant in your financial situation. So it's kind of saying, okay, well, so he changed his equation to have a variable that equaled 0.
Yeah.
But that means something. It's not just something you're ignoring because it's not important. It's something you're ignoring because you know it is important, but it's not relevant to you. And, like, he just explains everything in ways like that.
That's cool.
Like, super... Even if you don't know the science at all, you can get the concept of filling out your taxes, and, okay, a blank line isn't something that's not important. It's just something I don't need. Yeah. So, it's really... I really like his writing style.
That's cool.
And yeah, I'm
we
really
read
excited.
A lot of.
I'm really excited.
We
about
like nonfiction. I mean, we read fiction too, but
yeah, I'm more embarrassed about sharing the fiction I read.
That's all right. If she feels embarrassed about sharing the fiction she reads, I should feel embarrassed about what I'm going to talk about next, and I don't. So this week, Monday was a holiday, and we had these plans to do stuff. Actually, get some stuff done, and I just felt crappy, and so I curled up in bed and watched terrible Hallmark movies all day. In fact, I watched 11 Hallmark movies in the last couple weeks. Yeah, okay, they're not all Hallmark, but some of them are whatever, Lifetime or Pixel or, but yeah, you know what I mean when I say Hallmark
As
movie,
cheesy
right?
as after school specials.
Oh, pretty much. They're kind of the movie equivalent of a Harlequin romance novel. They're almost always set at either Christmas or, let's see, the ones I tend to watch are Christmassy ones, which makes no sense because I'm a Scrooge and I don't believe in love at first sight, and, you know, I wouldn't consider myself a romantic. I'm 40 and single and have been single for a long, long time. Maybe I'm too much of a romantic. No,
Yeah.
I'm not a romantic.
You don't strike me as a romantic.
No, I kind of go, oh yeah, they fell in love in 3 days, sure. Oh look, they're gonna get married. They haven't even kissed yet. Really? Like, okay. Yeah, but
Too much of a cynic to
I'm
be
a
romantic.
cynic, but I'm not really. Like, I'm an optimist. I'm just a cynic optimist.
I'm a green tea loving cynic.
Oh, yuck. But yeah, I'm a Scrooge, so I don't know why I watch Christmas movies. Oh, right. The other genre that I don't know, ended up watching a few of were the, you know, royal that was undercover or whatever. You know, people didn't know they were royal or yeah.
Secret royalty.
Thank you. So these tropes are just hilarious. Or, you know, the rivals in business. Okay, so that's basically You've Got Mail. Okay, I love You've Got Mail. Not You've Got Mail.
You've liked that one for ages.
Okay, so I watched it in the theater on my 21st birthday alone.
A long time ago.
A long time ago. When my whole plan for life was I wanted to run my own bookstore. And it's about, you know, the big corporation coming in and screwing the little bookstore owner. And it's a romance, and I watched it alone. Okay, so this explains a lot about me. But yeah, so I watched like 11 really cheesy in some cases. Oh my god. Yeah. And also, it is apparently where Canadian actors go to die. I mean, not to die, to continue their careers. I'm terrible.
You're so mean.
I'm so mean. No, a lot of them actually, like, if they were on a TV show, they often did it in the
off season.
In the off season or whatever. But yeah, like, it's just. I've been having so much fun seeing all these actors that I recognize from it's that guy. All these actors that I've seen in, you know, all the TV series that are filmed in Vancouver, basically.
Stargate.
So Stargate actors like Paul McGillion, and Librarians actors like Lindy Booth, and they were in the same movie, and it was one I really wanted to watch because I like them both. It was okay up until one point, and then it was like, oh my god, the cheese fact, like, it was basically smashed with a giant block of cheese. I made a choker. It was like a giant block of cheese just dropped on it. It was, I had so much fun watching it though. I mean, I kind of cringed when Paul McGillian's character sits down at the piano and starts playing and then starts singing, and it is so not Paul McGillian's voice.
Was he doing his natural accent, or was he doing like
no,
an
he was
American
doing his
accent?
natural. He was, I don't know. I read some other reviews of things and they're all like, oh yeah, all these people, they're not even hiding their Canadian accents. I'm like, I can't tell. They sound, yeah, so I'm assuming he was talking in a Canadian accent. He wasn't doing a Scottish accent, which I do miss because his character on Stargate had a wonderful Scottish accent.
Yes.
A lot of other ones I went, oh, I know that guy from something, and I looked it up and it was like a guy from Battlestar Galactica.
20 years ago.
No, not that long ago. I only ever watched the Battlestar Galactica miniseries that started off the new one because I didn't actually like the show.
That was, what, 2005-ish?
I have no clue. It was a long time ago.
It was 20 years ago.
No, that's only 13 years ago.
I said 2005 or 2000? That's 18 years ago.
Okay. I don't think it was 2000 because I was still watching West Wing in 2000. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm still watching them. So I kind of want to. I have this blog that I blog on like once a year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, I actually have a couple posts that are like, oh look, 2 years since my last post. That's pretty standard. And then I post about 3 times, and then it's another 2 years until I post again. But I was thinking I might actually have to review them and like have sections like, how many blocks of cheese does this movie get? Rate. And, you know, hey, it's that guy. And oh, the tropes. Yeah, you know, they hate each other. Or one of them always hates Christmas, if it's a Christmas one. There's always someone who hates Christmas because someone died. It's always because someone died.
The Scrooge becomes a romantic, though, when they fall in love with the other person,
exactly,
right?
And then they
I
love
haven't
Christmas.
seen the movies. That was a guess.
but which I think is really funny because, like, I'm not a Christmas person. And, yeah. Apparently I need to fall in love to learn to love Christmas again. But you know what? Okay. You know what? It's because I had a terrible Christmas when my dad was dying. There. Apparently.
You fall right into the trope.
Apparently I fall right into the trope. I just need someone to fall in love with me after 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too late. It was 20 years ago.
No. When my dad died was a lot
years.
longer than that. Yeah. Yeah, no. They just have to have this baggage.
Oh,
it doesn't
and
have
when
to be
you
someone
meet them
yes,
within 3 days, not within
yeah.
3 days of the tragic
No,
event.
because it's always like, you know,
That makes much more sense.
You know, it's always like a widower with a child, and then, you know, the young single woman falls for him because she loves his child or whatever.
You've passed that trope too. You're not a young single
I'm
woman.
not a young single woman. There are actually surprising amounts of them about older people.
Well, it's because they've got all the
all these old actors.
Old actors that go to Hallmark movies to die.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I kind of want to just start reviewing them. But, you know, maybe that's taking my nerdism a little too far.
Go with it.
And really, it's not like it'll last long. No. I'll do about 3 posts until 2 years from now.
Yeah.
But, oh, yeah, it's been loads of fun. I mock them, but I still like them. I don't know why.
Well, it's like the books that I tend to read when I read fiction. It's totally mockable.
Yeah.
It's totally unbelievable.
I read romance novels every once in a while as well, and they're the same thing. It's like, yeah, these people aren't going to stay together long term. They barely know each other. Yeah. Especially when they end up, movies where they end up, like, getting married and they barely know each other?
Yeah.
What the hell? You don't do that. What if you're not sexually compatible?
A lot of people do.
I know. I don't get it. I've never understood that. Like the people who like get married after 2 weeks of knowing each other or whatever. I'm really happy if it works for you.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it working for me.
That's because you're an old spinster.
I am an old spinster. Oh, yeah. I'm a blue stocking spinster. See, if I lived in a Regency romance, I'd be one of those terrible, like, well, first of all, I wouldn't be well off, so probably I would have died already.
That's fair.
Or...
because you're really old.
I am really old. Anyway, that's what I've been watching this week. It's been fun.
Yeah.
And terrible.
I've been watching, actually... I wrote down iZombie because that's what I've been mostly watching, but I also rewatched Anaconda.
Oh, why?
I don't know, it came up
Snake movies I just don't get.
It came up in my feed on Netflix, and I was like, I haven't watched this in years. I got it back when Netflix was a DVD mail-in system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were, like, early adopters of Netflix.
Yeah.
We used to get DVDs in the mail.
Watch them,
fabulous.
send them back, get
Watch
new
them.
ones.
Copy them.
We never did that.
We were never pirates.
Never did that.
No. I'm really warm. You will not make a good babushka. Okay, you make a pretty good pirate.
Matey.
The other day, she was wearing one, but it was like...
It doesn't work with the silk one.
You couldn't see her hair at all. I was like, oh, you look like the guy from Karate Kid. She's like, okay, I'll change it.
I had it down low on my forehead because it was wet and narrow, it felt nice on my hair.
And it was like this, and I was like, yes, sensei.
She did.
And then Daniel called her Danielson.
She did.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by crazy people.
Oh yeah,
please
she's
come
not crazy at all.
help.
She's not crazy at all. You know, we stay relatively calm, tame during the knitting portion, maybe.
But then
sometimes.
when we're ourselves, we're like,
Then it's like cultural consumed. You gotta find out how much of a nerd we are. Oh.
I haven't been super nerdy other than iZombie. I don't like zombie. Like, zombies are not my thing.
But iZombie was
I really am enjoying iZombie. Yeah. I had caught up to the end of the last season, and this week I watched, like, the whole new season. Yeah. And I love it. It's a really weird take on a really old trope. You know, like... Yeah. And I really like the main characters, the two main characters... Well, the four main characters.
I was going to say, which ones are the two main?
Yeah, I'm like, well, the two main characters in the first season aren't necessarily the two main characters in the later seasons, but it's really cool because they're becoming, I mean, it's a very caricatured show in some ways, but the characters are getting much more complex now. And they've got weird backstory and zombie monthlies and...
Zombie monthlies?
Not gonna give it away in case somebody wants to watch it.
Okay.
So it's a teaser for those of you who are wondering, though.
I got her hooked on it.
Yeah.
And then I stopped watching it.
Yeah, no, I really love it. It's got a lot of neat issues that they're dealing with as they go on. Oh, would you stop?
I'm not crazy.
Do you see what I have to put up with?
I'm not crazy.
You are.
Oh, I am.
You are.
I'm also really tired.
Sleep.
Well, yeah, that'll make me sleep. Thanks.
Welcome.
I'm gonna do payroll, and then I'm gonna go home and watch some more cheesy movies.
I think
YouTube apparently has a whole bunch of full-length pirated movies, most likely. Yeah.
Yeah, we signed up for YouTube Red.
Watch
which is
Cobra Kai.
Not called YouTube Red
No,
anymore.
it's called YouTube Premium.
Yeah. There's nothing else on there.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure there are things people would enjoy, but not us.
Yeah, I was
Cobra Kai.
Not interested at all.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start Curiosity Stream again.
Yeah.
So, I like the science. And Curiosity Stream and Great Courses have a lot of science, so I'm going to do one of those.
Stop flipping the table. She's bouncing the camera.
The yarn is super bouncy.
She's nuts. We're both nuts.
Yeah.
And we've talked for 70 minutes, so
Yeah, I think it's time to go.
Cheers.
Sorry, we were extra today. And we'll see you next time. And we will have another prize draw for you next time. Don't forget to post your
Christmas in July
posts, because that will be closing midnight on the 15th or within a few hours of that.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in a colorwork cal, let us know if you prefer like a single designer or a single item, like just mitts but by any designer, or if you
just
prefer
any colorwork,
or
a specific pattern.
Yeah, if you have any ideas or opinions, let us know. Because if I don't get other opinions, I'll go with my idea.
Fuzz. Sorry. Hi.
She also has an imaginary friend called Luke.
He's not imaginary, he's invisible.
And on that note, Lou, Cindy, and Luke say goodbye.
Have a lovely whatever it is when you watch this.
See ya.